We're getting straight into it with a single leg balance. So standing on one foot with your arms out to the sides, elevate your chest and reach down toward the ground with the hand opposite to the leg that you're standing in. Keep your abs stretched out long as you bend forward, so that rather than loading the low back, you load the back of the leg that you're standing on, the hamstrings and glute of that leg, whilst maintaining that high chest position so that you really get the leg doing the work there. You may benefit from utilizing a chair or a bench or table, whatever it is that's a suitable height for you to be able to reach toward, a target to go toward. You don't necessarily have to go all the way to the ground. Just reach down as long as your flexibility and comfortable range of motion will allow you to go. Switching over there once again, arms back to start with, abs long, reaching down toward the ground. Now just note also, as you stand back up, you can raise the knee to the front, which will add another dynamic to engage your core a little more. And it's also not required to go at the pace demonstrated. Rather, keep a pace that is consistent with your ability to maintain control. It's most important that you are trying to make sure that you are steady throughout the range of motion. Rushing or going too fast might throw you off balance. So squeeze your toes into the ground, get a good grip there, and go at the pace that you can maintain control. Now the next single leg balance, we're going to switch feet, is a side star balance. And to begin with, elevate the chest high and try to maintain a symmetrical position. So you'll have an even distance between each hand and the outside of the leg. And if you can maintain that position, we're going to upgrade here to the next movement, and that is to take the opposite elbow to the elevated knee as you bring it across and touch together in the middle there. As you come back out, remember to elevate the chest right up high, lengthen the waist, and extend into the position so that you can get those spinal extensors working whilst maintaining symmetry, keeping things nice and even. Keeping your foot firmly gripped into the ground will give you a little more control over your position as well. So we're aiming for around about 10 or so. Once again, you don't have to maintain the same pace. Go at a pace that is comfortable to you. Then switch over onto the other foot there. Start off the movement with a high chest elevation, symmetrical position with an even distance between the arms and the legs there. You should feel your glutes working on the side of your hips there. If you feel confident with your position, try the animated movement as well. And here's a little option for you as well. If you're having difficulty getting your knee all the way across to your elbow, just try touching it with your hand instead. If you can, go through the more complete range of motion by bringing the elbow to the knee. Your spine will move through greater flexion and then extension as you come back up and lift the chest, lengthening the waist and stretching out your body into that fully extended position. Keep moving through the complete range of motion that you're able to, whilst maintaining control at all times. And back to the other foot there. We're going to continue with another single leg balance, this time combining the last two movements together. Now you have the option to continue with the single leg forward reach or the side star if you feel as if you need to practice each one of those by themselves, or you can try the advancement and try and bring these together integrated with the single elbow to the opposite knee in between. So reaching forward, abs long, elbow to the knee, back out to that symmetry side star position. Elbow, knee, forward reach, abs long, back up, elbow to knee, symmetry side star again. Elbow to knee, forward reach, remembering to stretch your abs out long as you reach forward, make the leg doing the work. Lift your chest up high in the side star position to get that full extension as well. And you should really be feeling perhaps underneath the foot, up the side of the calves, certainly the back of the leg, the side of the glutes are the areas that should be worked in this exercise. Switching over to the other foot now, starting off in side star. And elbow to knee as you reach forward, keep the chest high, abs long, back of the leg does the work. Touch the elbow, lift the chest into the star. Elbow, knee, touch again toward the ground, keeping the abs long. Elbow, knee, lift the chest high, lengthen into this position here. Elbow, knee, reach forward, stretch out your abs, lengthen your waist there. Touch, then back out to that side, symmetry star, lift the chest. So continue to move through that range of motion, and once again you'd be expecting to feel underneath the foot, the side of the calves, your hamstrings and outer gluteal area working, these stabilizing muscle groups for the legs, in addition to your spinal extensors down the middle of the back there and behind the shoulders. Those postural groups are also involved with this one. Shake it out, and we're going to take it straight down to our hands and toes here. Get a nice even position, find your body around about parallel to the ground. Prone hold position, push away from the ground, that's called protraction, to engage your shoulder girdle, and we're just going to lift up one leg and alternate it with the other side there. Main thing to be aware of course, keeping a firm, strong shoulder position, pushing away from the ground at all times, but also nice long waist to keep your spine straight and maintain your pelvis in a steady position. Taking one foot forward, one foot back, we're going to switch here onto a side cross hold as you reach one hand toward the sky, just holding there, stabilizing for around about a 10-second hold. Remember to lift your pelvis, do not let it sink in the middle, lengthen the waist, maintain a strong position, and then we're switching over. Other hand toward the sky, again lengthen the waist, and try and push up away from the ground in this position, like you're trying to reach up high into the sky, lengthening through the whole position. Hold stable, and then we're going to sit it over onto the ground there for this next one. Lying down, now this exercise we did in the core regen exercise program. So start off by lengthening the waist, shoulder blades in together to an extent. Create a little gap between your low back and the ground so you get that neutral spinal position. And we're going straight into a leg cycle here. Now this movement is the most advanced movement that we did in the core regen exercise program. So once again, if you feel that your back is clicking or it feels uncomfortable or tight or painful in any way through the low back, you have the option to drop this back down to one of the reduced intensity options demonstrated in the core regen program. Otherwise, we keep going for a count of 20 or so here, keeping the abs out long as you can before standing back up. Now we're going to go straight into an aeroplane pose here. So standing on one leg, bring your arms out to the side as you rotate your thumbs around externally, lengthen your waist, bring your arms back and angle the body forward. So really try and stretch out your abs in this position as you bring your arms back. Almost like there's a puppet master above you with strings on your wrists and rear ankle, lifting them all up. Switching over to the opposite side now. Arms out to the sides, lengthen the waist, arms back. Bring that rear foot up out the back there. Lift all of your limbs up as you angle the body forward. Try to angle further forward so you stretch the back of that stabilizing leg, the leg that you're standing on, whilst keeping those arms firmly back. Bring your chin in a little as well. Now we're going to go into a quick stretch here. Take your legs a little further apart. We're going to grab one wrist and pull it up toward the sky as you tilt over to one side there. Obviously you'll feel the stretch down the side that you are bending away from. Just be sure to not be putting so much compression force into this that you feel like your low back is being crushed. Use your intuition, apply the right level of tension so that you can get an effective stretch. Switching over, holding on to the opposite wrist, this time lift it up vertically as you once again tilt over to the side, stretching down the opposite side to the direction that you are bending there. As we ease that off, we are going to take the legs out a little wider and bend the body straight down the middle there. So take your legs out a distance apart that feels like you can get a reasonably comfortable stretch. Of course, the inside of the thighs will feel here and the back of the legs. Do not try and get so far out that you feel like you're going to snap. Just go to a comfortable range of motion where you feel a good stretch on the inside thigh and back of the leg. To advance this one, we're going to take one hand across to the opposite foot. You may need to place something on the ground, a block, a step, anything that is of suitable height. As you reach the opposite hand around, you'll feel an intensifying of the stretch behind the leg through the hamstrings there, particularly the outer hamstring and glute area, inside thigh as well. Reaching across to the opposite side now. As you switch it over, try and reach up vertically into the sky as you do this. Breathe into the chest, lengthen through the waist as well as you straighten both knees to accentuate the stretch. Alright, now taking one hand across the front, we're going to grab up in the outside of the elbow with the opposite arm and just pull that arm directly across the front there as you direct your hand alongside the neck. Pull your arm back so you get the stretch through the outside of the shoulder, pulling it down and up to change the angles to increase the stretch where it feels tight. Switch it over if you haven't already. Complete the same off the other side. Alright, now give it a bit of a shake out. That is once through the program. We're going to go another time through with no time wasting. So stand it on one foot. We're going to get straight into that single leg balance. So you have the option of 3 different exercises here. You can either do your single leg balance with the forward reach, your side star position with the elbow knee advancement, or you can combine them all together to make it a little more tricky. Increase your range of motion into the side star elbow knee touch and the forward reach as well. So remembering the main points with these ones, keeping your abs long as you reach forward so that you get the leg doing the work, keeping your chest high as you come out into that extended position in the side star. Either touch the hand or the elbow to the knee in between as a transitional movement and to get that core activating. So last time we did about 10 of each one. We're combining this together, so we're going to do 8 or so of the combined forward reach and side star movement together. Switch it over there. Again, gripping the ground with your toes. We're going to begin with that elevated chest position in the side star if you're following along. Elbow knee forward reach, abs long. Elbow touch, lift the chest as you lengthen into that extended position. So just a reminder that you don't require to keep up with the pace demonstrated in the video. Rather go at the speed that is suitable for your current level of control and stability. It's more important that you're able to maintain full control throughout the range of motion rather than keeping up with a certain pace or achieving a certain number of repetitions. The main goal here is to simply fatigue the muscle groups involved so they get stronger. You'll increase neuromuscular control and feel a lot more coordinated and prevent injuries along the way. Elbow touch, elevate the chest, lengthen the waist, reach forward with that leg out the back there. Okay, so we're going to continue on, this time to the ground once more. Hands and toes into a prone hold position. Find your body around about parallel with the ground. Push up and away from the ground into that protracted position. you want to have your shoulders around about over your wrists there. As you alternate with your legs lifting up and down, you're going to feel your core switching on to try and prevent your pelvis from twisting from left to right as you alternate between the 2 feet there. Just a reminder to keep pushing up away from the ground. Don't slouch into the position. You want to protract up away from the ground to keep your shoulder girdle involved. Now this is the second time through the circuit. You're well and truly warmed up now, so we're going to do a few more and last it out a bit longer as we switch into the side cross hold here, so that you can really test out your muscles. So a reminder to push up away from the ground with this one. Extend yourself, reach up high, lengthen through the waist, keep your pelvis even. And you might notice as you're doing these static holds that the muscles around your shoulders, your elbows, begin to shake and quaver a little, which is a good indication that you're pushing them to their limit. Switching over there now when you're ready. Again, lengthening through the waist, reaching up high vertically with the skyward arm. Lift the pelvis up, make sure that you're in a symmetrical position, not tilting down or going up too far for that matter. And last it out. Particularly as you're starting to fatigue and shake, if you can last a little longer, you'll find that you'll gain that additional strength benefit. So flipping over onto your bum on the ground there, once again we're going into that leg cycle. You have the option of doing the simple double leg raise, the single leg alternating tap to the ground, or you can go straight into the leg cycle. A little bit of length through the waist with a little gap under your low back there to maintain a neutral spinal position as you cycle away there. So try and go through the most complete range of motion that you're able to, straightening the legs all the way out as you alternate, almost as if you feel like the heels are rolling along a basketball on the ground there. A reminder that if you're feeling any pain in the low back with this one, switch it back a notch. So back to our feet here, and we're going back into our aeroplane position again. Arms back, rear leg out the back there as well as you angle forward. Lengthen the waist and bring those arms back as far as you can as you draw the chin in. Lift up that rear leg like the puppet master is above you, elevating with strings on the wrists and rear ankle as you lengthen through the torso there. Again, we're going to last out a little longer this time, being our second set. Make sure you get to a point of fatigue there. Switching over to the other side. Again, arms out to the side there. Bring them back as you angle the body forward. Lift the rear foot up. And you want to angle forward as far as you can so that you can feel the back of the legs stretching. That should really be what's restricting your range of motion, your hamstrings flexibility. Do not go so far forward that you're slouching into it. Lift your chest up, bring your arms back, lengthen your waist, and try and maintain that fully extended position right throughout the entire time span. Now we're going to switch over legs here and go back into the aeroplane position, arms back, abs long as you bend forward, only this time we're going to take the opposite hand down toward the ground, creating a second base of support. And the main point of this particular exercise is to get a huge stretch through the outside hamstrings group of your stabilizing leg. Bring the leg coming out the back straight out behind you as you lift that opposite hand toward the sky. And you should feel a huge stretch down the outside of the leg. Now you don't have to necessarily take it that far. You can just take one hand to the ground without tilting around, switching over there when you're ready. But the main thing being is that you have the opposite hand to the ground and that you can straighten through that grounded leg so you feel the big stretch. If you have the flexibility and the degree of control, as a progression you can take the opposite hand up toward the sky. So this one can be really uncomfortable, so you've got to really persevere to benefit most effectively from it. Taking the legs out wide now, we're going to go into that side stretch, grabbing one wrist as you lift it up high toward the sky. Tilt the body over to one side as you feel the stretch right the way down the side that you're bending away from. A reminder to not take it over so far and with so much force that you feel a crushing of the low back on the side that you're bending toward. Then changing over, grabbing the opposite wrist and lifting it as you tilt over the other way there. Big stretch down, all the way down the side that you're bending away from. Breathe as you release a little further to gain a little more range of motion. Now taking the legs out nice and wide. As the hands descend down the middle, you'll feel the stretch at the back of the legs, the inside thighs. Try not to force it. You don't need to get into side splits. It's not a ballet class. Just take it to a degree of range of motion suitable for your current level of flexibility. Now bringing the legs a little closer, we're going to take the opposite hand to the foot once more as the other hand comes up toward the sky. You're straightening through the leg, particularly on the side that you are twisted toward. Changing over there with the opposite hand toward the other foot, rotating your other hand toward the sky as you straighten through both legs, but particularly the leg that you're bending toward there. Next up, we're standing straight back up and taking one arm directly across the front, leveraging with your other arm there to pull the elbow in close as the hand comes up beside the neck. Lift the elbow up high or down low to find the best area to stretch in your shoulder. Switch it over when you're ready there. Doing the same thing, bracing through the outside of the elbow, using the strength of the other arm there to pull it around beside the neck so you can feel that stretch through the outside of the shoulder. Lifting the elbow up and down to find the best place to maximize the stretch. Squeezing your arms into the middle, squeeze them out to the back and lift your chest. Stretch it out, give it a shake out, and we're done. Good work. We'll see you next time.